Hey everyone, it's Doug and Monique from Track Us Down. Today we're going to talk about the reasons why you shouldn't move or retire abroad. So let's get right into it.
After over 25 years of working hard and raising our family, we retired from our careers, we sold everything, and we began our second half of life. We make our base here on the beautiful island of Madeira.
Are 7 cautionary points that you should consider before you move or retire to Europe. Reason number 1, if you're used to a fast-paced lifestyle, big venti coffees in the United States or Canada or UK or whatever fast-paced environment you live in, you shouldn't move or retire to Portugal if you want to keep that kind of lifestyle. It's just not like that here in Europe. It's a much more laid-back lifestyle, a coffee culture, as we've said before. It's more about enjoying family and friends and just taking each day, day by day, and doing what you can, getting things done, but not stressing about if you don't get everything done that you wanted to that day. It's a much more laid-back lifestyle, a very enjoyable lifestyle, especially for retirement. So if you want to keep up that go pace, that heart attack pace, maybe you shouldn't retire or move abroad to Europe. So don't move abroad if you want to keep or you love a very fast-paced lifestyle.
Number 2, don't move abroad or retire abroad if you are not okay with sort of being the odd person out. What we mean by this is when you retire abroad or move abroad and you're in a different country, when you're here in Europe, you have to get used to the fact that you're sort of the odd person out a lot of times. Whether you're out and about or in a store, a lot of times you don't understand the conversation that's going on around you. A lot of times you're kind of looking this way and that way, trying to figure things out that other people seem to just know what they're doing. So there is a point when you're here where you kind of feel like the odd person out sometimes. And if you're not comfortable with that, that can get really, really hard. So don't move abroad or retire abroad if you're not okay with sometimes being the odd person out.
And I actually like being the odd person out. I find if I don't understand what's being said around me, it's almost more relaxing. You don't have to, you're not picking up on the conversation or feel like have the mental stress of
That's a good attitude.
Yeah. Number 3, but having said that, don't move or retire abroad to a foreign country if you're not willing to at least try to learn the language. You don't have to learn it at a university level and know all the grammar and the past participles and conjunctives of whatever that language is, but you should really make an effort to learn the language, at least at a basic point where you can have conversations with the locals out of respect to the country that you're moving to, especially if you're going to be staying there for years to come. So don't retire abroad or move abroad to a foreign country unless you're at least willing to try and learn the language. We're using UTalk, a great app that we can just use a little bit each day and just start to pick up on the language and put it into practice as we go along. It's not a hardcore university course where we have to go 2 or 3 evenings a week. It's just on our own pace and it really helps out a lot.
And if you're interested in learning a new language, we did a couple of videos, morning routine and a productivity video where we showed you how we use the app UTalk. You can check those out and we also have a link down below. With that link down below, you also get a great discount. Number 4, don't move abroad or retire abroad if you're not open-minded. When you come to a new country, there are things that are different. And obviously we're in Portugal, so we've noticed some things in Portugal that are different. But whatever country you decide to move to, there will be differences than what you're used to. You have to come with an open mind. Otherwise, day in, day out, you will find yourself frustrated.
So I guess what you're trying to say is that a lot of people, when they move to a new country, whether it's Portugal or somewhere else, they try and bring their own country's habits and ways of doing things with them, which can lead to criticisms and frustration.
Absolutely.
Both for yourself and for the people that are living here to begin with.
Exactly. Don't move to a new country or retire to a new country unless you know that you can be open-minded.
Fun fact, did you know that all companies in Portugal that provide a public service or any commercial establishment must make a complaints book available to customers on their premises? We saw this when we went to the dentist. There was a placard up on the wall that listed where the complaints book was. I guess it's the same for us here on YouTube. If you have a public complaint for the service that we're providing, you can leave it in the comments down below. Fun fact. Next up, number 5, don't move abroad or retire abroad if you're just trying to run from problems back home. If you move or retire abroad and you have lots of issues going on at home, whether it's with family or personal issues, chances are you're just going to be bringing that with you. And once you're here, you may not have a support network. There might be a different language, all the things that you need to help you get through that. And they could just continue to get worse. It's always best if you have any kind of issue like that sorted out before you leave and make a big move like retiring abroad. Your daily life is still going to be your daily life, whether you're here or there. And if you have all kinds of issues that you brought with you, it's just gonna make it worse, especially when you're trying to have a better second half of life. So don't move abroad or retire abroad if you have issues that you haven't dealt with properly first.
Point number 6 goes along with what Doug was just talking about. We would advise don't move abroad or retire abroad if you have difficulties in your marriage or your relationship. When you move abroad, you don't know anyone here, family's not here, you really have to rely on one another to fill all those voids that you have with friends not here, or even if you've retired with a job not here. So you're giving up different parts of your life and you're coming here. You need to make sure that your relationship is solid and that you can be each other's very best friend.
Oh man.
Because for a while, until you start making new friends and getting out there and joining groups and being part of your new community, you really do have to rely on each other. So don't move abroad if you have issues with your marriage or relationship.
I told you we're not best friends.
We are best friends. Don't move or retire abroad if you're having difficulties with your marriage or your relationship.
That's it, I'm out of here. And lucky point number 7, don't move or retire abroad if you haven't first done the research about everything that's involved to get here. When we sold everything and planned our visa and our move over here to Portugal, it didn't happen in a weekend. There was a lot of work to put into it in the months, even in the year or so leading up to it. It starts with an idea, then it starts with a lot of conversations, and then you get into the technical stuff, looking into what exactly is involved in doing that. You can ask anybody you want online, in Facebook groups, on Google, you can look into it, but ultimately you're gonna have to do the research and figure it out for yourself. Reading the fine print of the different acts, the visas, the requirements, and really figure it out for yourself rather than relying too much on other people's information. And that includes us. We give information, we try and give the best information. It is all from our own experience. There's others who will give information on obtaining a D7 visa when they've never done it. We have followed that route. We did get a D7 visa. So when we talk about things, we're talking from experience rather than just talking about or repeating something that we see online.
Exactly. And just to further that, what Doug's saying there is you almost need to do, I guess in university we call it like cross-checking. You need to take the information you get from YouTube and cross-check that with what you can find on Google. Go to the actual documents that you need. None of moving abroad or retiring abroad has to be complicated or scary if you do the research.
So we're looking at making a video specifically on, for example, our D7 application process, step by step, what worked for us, what you may want to consider that may work for you. And it's going to be available to our Patreon supporters. That way, if you're very serious about moving somewhere like Portugal, that information will be there available for you. And just to end on that, even information that we provide, and we try and do our best to give the correct information, you should always double check and make sure that's right for you, for the requirements from your country and from your own specific information. Our information is good, but it might not be exactly what you need. And I'm sure you're doing this already where you're checking and cross-checking with other forms of information as well.
Good to be reminded of that.
It is. So those are 7 cautionary points that you should consider before you move or retire abroad to Europe or anywhere else.
If you enjoy our videos and find some value in them, please like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps our little channel grow, and it also helps the algorithm show our video to other people who may be interested in early retirement, regular retirement, or retiring abroad. We're so happy that you joined us here today on Track Us Down. We hope that you enjoyed the video. Please, as always, check back in and
track us down.